Hi, Monica Morrow, SSO President, here to remind you to take advantage of the early bird registration deadline for the annual meeting, which ends on January 31st. There's a great program this year which includes more scientific sessions than ever. There are some sessions which should be of interest to everyone, including the challenges of incorporating personalized medicine into your surgical practice from the perspective of a surgeon, what to do when the science isn't quite ready for prime time, and how to incorporate patient decision-making into all this. There's an update on the status of the surgical oncology workforce, which includes information about current manpower distribution, the status of certification, and what's going on with MOC, which every practicing surgical oncologist needs to be aware of. In addition to that, we have a symposium on how to incorporate multidisciplinary team building and clinical trials into practice in the community. We have some very interesting disease site-specific symposia, including the always controversial topic of MRI in breast cancer, which is sponsored by the Susan G. Komen for the Cure. Our first combined symposium with the Japanese Gastrointestinal Society on gastric cancer, a session on controversies in pancreatic cancer, and the intriguingly titled session asking whether or not the surgeon is still necessary in the management of rectal cancer. For the first time in many years, we'll have a video session looking at the best videos the program committee selected to do complex surgical procedures. We have our Meet the Professor breakfast, which this year will be augmented by small complex case sessions to discuss hepatobiliary, colorectal, and breast cancer cases. And we have a sarcoma tumor board. On Saturday afternoon, there's the Battle of the Titans, debates among our past presidents, which is bound to be a highlight of the meeting. In addition to that, we've taken into account your feedback from last year's meeting and made sure that Wi-Fi will be available throughout the meeting space this year. In addition, we have an MOC cafe where you can go right on site and get the credits you need for maintenance of certification to make this more convenient for you. I will be discussing many of the important changes that our society has undergone over the past year in my presidential address, including a proposed bylaws amendment to broaden the inclusiveness of our nominating committee and better represent all members of our society. Finally, we've made some radical changes to the Saturday night banquet. Gone is the format where you have to reserve a seat and sit there with people you may or may not want to talk to, and gone are the boring speeches. Instead, we'll be having another stand-up buffet and cocktail party where you can interact with your friends and colleagues and discuss the latest from this year's meeting. So again, take advantage of the early bird discount and register before January 31st, and I look forward to seeing you in Washington.